Hello.
Yeah, please start.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. Today, this is Self Discovery 2.0 for Mr. Harish K. Raju. Basically, he's a very humble and modest guy. By profession, he's an engineer who is having 22 years of work experience. But if you see, his interest is basically his passion is basically educating the kids. He is very active member of Bal Vihar, Chinmaya Bal Vihar mission, and he is trying to transform the life of students with the help of genetic brain profiling. But his interest is varying from like learning different languages to chanting Gita Shlok part, and then again, if you see, he's very much interested into NLP, Reiki, hypnotherapy, and sound healing, and he's a genetic brain profiling consultant as well. So let's hear from Harish ji himself how this genetic brain profiling is helping him to transform the life of his Bal Vihar students. Over to you, Harish.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction, Bhartika ma'am. I'm really humbled. Thank you very much. I would begin with a thank note to Ratnaswamy sir and the entire MiDNA family here who is joined here and who's going to join very shortly. It feels very great that today I have reached a stage where I'm able to present my self-discovery 2.0. With all the humble thanking note, I would want to begin my presentation here. I would begin with the first, the quote from my Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda, said, "To love and to be loved is the greatest happiness of existence." This has a very great and deep meaning, and it has a special effect on me. It is said that love can move mountains. Love is one which can transform any person or any human being, and that is the greatest tool that we can use it to transform and to bring about upliftment or a change. So with this note, I would want to begin my presentation. I would begin with starting to talk about what is very close to my heart and what is most passionate to me. Chinmaya Balavihar has become my soul, my heart and soul, especially after the pandemic. You know, way back in 2001, I started Chinmaya Balavihar in a very, very small, humble way. And when it came to 2018, in a rural part of Bangalore, Hebagodi, I was so proud and happy that I was able to reach out to close to 90 plus students in a slum area. You know, all the children were from the lower middle class family, and you know, they used to gather on every Wednesday on a weekday, and we used to have a wonderful Chinmaya Balavihar. So this was the first beginning of, you know, the emerging of expansion of the Balavihar classes. Come 2020, we started the online classes, which also picked up momentum. I was very happy that, you know, a lot of children joined from different cities, like from Jammu in the north, from Nagpur, from Mumbai, Chennai, and even today we have been continuing the online classes. You know, because of several constraints, parents are not able to send the children to offline classes. Maybe the classes are not accessible nearby. So offline classes have definitely helped many children to transform. In this past 2 years, there has been a lot of effect and it's been transforming. My Gurudev said that children are not vessels to be filled, but lamps to be lit. It is so true. You know, there is so much to learn from the children. It is not that we are teaching them, but there is in turn, we are learning a lot and we get transformed a lot when we are in the vicinity and in the presence of children. So this was a great message I learned from my Gurudev. So 2021-22, we really started the online classes were going very well. And June, we switched over to offline classes, and it was really wonderful. A lot of children started attending the offline classes in the nearby temples in and around in Mahalakshmi layout, Bangalore. Quite a few parents were enthusiastic and they were very happy to join the Balavihar classes. and it was real very good feedback. Direct, I could actually see the smiles on the children and the parents, and they were really very happy about the Balvihar classes. So I wish to say that Balvihar is one which brought a lot of life into myself, and it transformed many families, many children, and many parents started thanking me profusely. So you can actually see the smiles and the expressions on these little angels, as you can see in this picture here. Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda also very carefully said, youth are not youth are not careless, they are cared less. We need to give them more attention, more love, and more uh, compassion to address their specific or general problems. And this could be a real uh, area where Chinmaya Yuva Kendra also came into picture, and where it would transform the youth. Of course, once the online classes almost subsided, we also asked the parents to come and meet on, have a weekly gathering or a, quarterly gathering, where a lot of parents also started coming, and we used to have real live classes and live attendance at in the temple parks, and it would be a wonderful situation. Offline was, yes, it was a little joy, but online, offline classes really brought life to many of the children, and they started feeling cared, and they started feeling loud, and this was really a good transformation in my Chinmaya Balvihar classes. I would also want to speak about my little pets here during the presentation. I can see both of their GBPs might be different. I really don't know. I've never tested their GBPs, but you can see how much of caring and loving these two pets, they stay in my home. I don't know. I have not reared them, but they came from somewhere from outside, and they live so harmoniously, cohesively, and caring and loving for each other. So I just wanted to mention a little about my pets here. The small cat and the dog, who daily come and talk to me, and they really care for me a lot. So this was very close to me, so I just wanted to mention about it. I'm very happy that August was a great month for me. I could complete my NLP practitioner certificate with the help of guidance of Dr. A. Doris Greenwood, and it was a very good, wonderful achievement for me. And I never even thought that I would be able to complete my B.Ed so fast. Third semester completed in August with, you can see that I got an outstanding result. So come December, my B.Ed course also would also get uh, almost completed, and I would be a certified B.Ed teacher by the end of 2022. So with this, I move on to my actual self-discovery. Uh, Self-discovery means understanding one's own self. Probably some of the parents also have joined from my Balavihar. I would also want to mention one or two points about genetic brain profiling and MiDNA. MiDNA means Multiple Intelligence Decoding and Nurturing Academy, which is based out of head office in Coimbatore. And GBP means Genetic Brain Profiling, where using the fingerprints of an individual, you can find out what is the brain patterns, what is the brain design of an individual. And what you can see here is UID. UID means a unique identification code, which will have a 10-digit code, which will help you to find out what is your brain pattern and what is your brain design. So you can see that my brain design shows that it is C3, 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 D3, A2, A2, C3, A3, A2, A2, which means that wherever it is C, it is highly cognitive. Wherever it is D, it shows that it has an integrative behavior. And A speaks about affective behavior. In my prefrontal and frontal, C3 is dominant. You can see on the left side of frontal also we have C3. So I could understand very clearly that my behavior has a highly cognitive behavior, as well as at sometimes there is also integrative behavior, whereas sometimes I have a confusion, or sometimes I also feel like doing both the things at a time. So this is also a part of my brain design. I could also understand, I could correlate my emotions, my kind of compassion, love, and all the different emotions that run through my character is attributed to the A2 behavior, which is reflected here. So in the journey of self-discovery, we will learn a little more. I would want to share a little more about my own self, and then we go on to the specific cases. As you can see here, the left brain shows that 51% and the right brain shows 49%. So it means that I'm more a left brain, left brain domination is more, dominance shows that left brain is more and right brain is more. There are specific indications of that. Right brain is, responsible for soft skills like, music, compassion, love, understanding, and all that. And left brain is indicative of your intelligence, logical thinking, analytical thinking, and all that. Of course, every person has a distributed, percentage of this one. So slightly, I'm more inclined towards the left brain. So this is what my report shows. Left brain processing is moderate and right brain processing is normal, which means that the neuro-linguistic speed of my left brain is normal and moderate, but it is which is moderate, but right brain processing shows as normal. So overall, it shows that I'm more inclined towards analytical thinking as well as logical. Yes, I do have a lot of emotions, which is attributed towards my the brain activities. We move on to the next screen, which will give you a more clear picture about my brain smartness. Logic shows 10.7, but of course you can see in the first part of the slide, in the upper slide, word power is very high. On an average, it should be 11 and 11 plus. Anything above 11 plus is high. I'm a self-smart person also, which shows that it is close to 11.5. And cosmic also shows very high. This is the reason where I could very clearly attribute and correlate how I could have an inclination towards teaching, my passion for getting closer to children, sharing the knowledge, be it Bhagavad Gita classes or the Chinmaya Bal Vihar classes. So that is why using my word power skills, I was able to communicate very well, and this added as an advantage for me. Of course, self-smartness is also there, and I'm very, very open with people and try to be, my communication skills is my strength. So getting, language is also my advantage. Basically, being a South Indian, I know at least about 5 different languages, and communication becomes more easy when you have a knowledge of languages. And with this, building rapport with people became very easy for me, and that helped me to connect to people, talk to people, express, and understand people very well. And this is related to the people skills, which is indicated here very clearly. The body smartness shows a little on the lower side, which is an area of improvement for me. Of course, I am also working on improving my physical activities, trekking, and all that. Of course, one of my mentor in this MiDNA itself used to tell me that I should start dancing and get into more of physical activity to improve. Yes, I have to overcome that laziness, which I'm also working on that. Cosmic shows 11.8, which is quite high, quite a good sign, which means that I am more inclined towards seeing a big picture, having an overview of the any situation or the problem and able to solve. Yes, this is very, very clearly correlated to my nature, and I could see that cosmic also relates to the spiritual inclination. Emotional quotient, you can see in the next screen, is on the higher side, and SQ is also. SQ and cosmic almost means the same. It shows that my inclination towards spiritual aspects and understanding the people, all these aspects are reflected in SQ and Cosmic. Adversity quotient is an area for improvement. Yes, of course, when I face some challenges, yes, that is an area for improvement where I need to handle situations better. CQ indicates creativity quotient. Yes, fairly good enough. But what I can really talk about is my emotional quotient. Emotional quotient being on the higher side, I connect to people, try to understand the situation of the other person very well. And this helps me to see how soon or how better or how fast I can solve the problem of the other person. So EQ is one very good attribute or one good requirement for a person to, especially if you're a healer or a teacher or a psychologist. EQ helps you to connect to your clients, your students very well, and you are able to give an exact solution to your the customer or the client or the student. You could also see that I'm a highly introspective person. 34.1% shows that introspective, and the rest two parts is distributed to analytical and interactive. Yes, my interactive nature is quite good enough. I talk to people very openly, share my thoughts, and express freely. So this is a reflective portion about how my adult learning domains are distributed. All these things aided me in becoming, in fact, 2021, I worked as a CBSE school teacher for a very short time. Uh, that all these skills really helped me in a right way to move to the right profession also. I would want to speak a little about the distribution of the energy distribution. It could be seen that introversion is 53 and extroversion is 47, and which means that I'm more an introvert than an extrovert. Intuitive nature is more, intuition is more working for me than a sensing nature. So for me, many of the things works through intuition rather than sensing, which is absolutely correct. I'm a more diverging person than converging, and thinking skills are showing 51.07 and feeling shows that 48.93. Yes, of course, feelings are there, but then thinking skills are really working very well for me. Judgmental is 51 and perceptiveness is 48.86, which shows that uh, I'm more, the MBTI shows that INTJ. I means introvert, intuitive, thinking, and judgmental. This is how this whole MiDNA genetic brain indicators is distributed. Harmony index shows 77.11 and entrepreneur suitability index shows 69. So this is an overall picture about my genetic brain profile and how it is. This is my MBTI pattern. So about having understood my own self about this, I started working with children, with students, and I also started counseling adolescent teenagers and young students, which could really give them a solution in their education path as well as career. So this I found it very interesting and it was close to my heart and exactly suiting my uh, emotions and my kind of temperament. I started working in this area of teaching, coaching, mentoring, and I should at this point I feel that MiDNA GBP I have to really thank because this gave me a real good tool to connect to people and try to help people in the right situation. I would want to mention about my parents, father, who is about close to 80. He was a very hardworking person, dedicated, loving, committed, and very punctual in his. Even till today, he is very, very dedicated in his works, very systematic. Some of these traits, this is what I have tried to acquire. Of course, they are my great real role models for me, my father and my mother. My mother is close to 67 now. She's a homemaker. She's highly devoted. She's into studying scriptures. She's a very good and very nice cook and very disciplined in her, her activities. So I owe a lot of my, my whatever my traits and my character towards my parents who nurtured me so well and who brought me up so well. So I have no words. It is said that you can really not pay back your parents. So I can only just remember remember with gratitude and express my gratitude towards my parents, because of whom I am what I am today. I would also want to mention about my son Vasishta, who is very close and dear to me. Uh, he's close to 9 years now, and he's in fourth standard. Uh, I would want to mention this quote, which my Sanskrit teacher wrote an autograph for me when I was in 10th standard in 1991. God has no time to make a nobody. The seed of greatness is sown in everybody. No person can be called useless, and there is something very unique in every person. If each person is able to identify that uniqueness in one's own self, each one starts to blossom and to bring out the best in oneself and start contributing positively to the society. At the right time, at the age of 16, I met Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayanand, and then the message that I learned from him, it was a very short time that I saw him physically, but then he left his body on August 3rd, 1993. But I went on continuing to be associated with Chinmaya Mission, and there were a lot of values that I learned from Chinmaya Mission and from Gurudev's talks. In summary, I can summarize the whole essence of knowledge what I learned from Chinmaya Mission and Puja Gurudev. Simple living, high thinking, ready service, and love for all is a great message. This is what is etched into me, and because of these four values, my life is streamlined in one particular way, and this is what has made me what I am today. I would want to directly switch over to the case studies which I have done using genetic brain profile. I would want to speak about first Arjun and Atreya. Both are brothers in my Balavihar class. Of course, Arjun is the elder one. You can see that I have displayed their the profile there. UID shows that it is D2 D2, A1 A1, A1 A2, C3 C3, C1 C1. Arjun is a very dynamic child, very bubbling child, and he has lot of energy, lot of creativity. Of course, integrative behavior is his nature and is his design. He's full of love and lot of compassion, very participative in all the activities. So we could identify that he is more of a left brainer than a right brainer. Understanding some parts of his GBP could really help me to analyze very carefully. His neuro-linguistic speed shows that his left brain is a little faster than the right brain. Right brain is normal. Understanding these features and then decoding his GBP helped me to do a proper counseling and give a right nurturing guidance to his mother. Of course, Madam Lakshmi Madam is also joined today. Atreya is the younger child. He is a little different. Both the brothers are in the same house, growing very well. But you could see that he also has A1 in the prefrontal, but D3 D2 in the frontal. Um, in this case, you can see that his left brain is moderate and right brain also moderate. And C3 C1 is there in parietal part and A2. What I could really sense from these children was each child, though they're born in the same family as brothers, are unique and very complementary to each other. Yes, both have unique talents and both are different, but at the same time, I could see a lot of common traits in both the children. Both are very loving, very caring, and you just tell them one word with positive attitude and positive note, they take it to heart and they're able to implement it very well. So at this point of time, I would want to invite, if Lakshmi ma'am is there, you can unmute yourself, you can on board, and you can share your thoughts, and you can give your feedback about it, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Namaste,
you have.
sir.
Yes. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah. Namaste, all. I am Lakshmi Prasanna. I did my master's in social work, worked in different roles in NGOs. But right now, I'm full-time mom for two boys, two hyperactive boys. As sir explained, they are 12 and 9, Arjun and Atreya. The thing is, we had different kind of approach between me and my husband towards grooming of our kids. So because of that, we had little tension and more of concern, a bit of tension and all in our life. But when I came to know about GBP of MiDNA from Harish sir, we got it done. One second. We got it done for both our boys, and we had analysis session with Harish sir along with his colleague also. Sorry, though we are raising both of them, GBP helped us to understand and analyze their our kids' interest and behavior in a new or a refined way. So now the tension part from our lives gone, almost gone. We are having a better quality time for ourselves, and we now approaching them in a flexible way, as we know not only their interest, likes, dislikes, but also their strengths and their limitations. So overall, definitely it's worth trying. Giving a try to this is definitely worthwhile, grooming kids while raising kids, so that we can understand them in a better way and help them to grow in a better way. As parents, end of the day, all we need is that much. And I thank Harish sir for all his time and inputs during these sessions and throughout, of course, through Balvihar, throughout we are in contact. And finally, me and my husband, sometimes we used to feel they both are complicated. But now we're feeling they both are complement to each other, but not complicated. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for that wonderful, your honest feedback. I just move on to the next slide, where we have another siblings. This is Mahati and Manvi. They're also very unique children, very interesting girls from our Balavihar. Anu ma'am, Anu Ravi Krishnan, I think she has joined. They moved
Yes,
in
sir.
from US. They moved in from US to Bangalore. And Anu ma'am, I'll just give you a minute after once I finished explaining, so then you can explain. So Mahati is the elder one, and Manvi is 8, who is the younger one. Similarly, in this case, both are unique children. They are very unique and very wonderful children. You can see that Mahati has A1, A1, A1R2, A1R1, A1A1, and A1. Most of them you can see that they are affective as well as reflective kind of behavior. But you can see that Manvi here has one X1. This X1 means, as you know, MiDNA family, we all know that X1 means something very critical. I was a little concerned. But when I could analyze this child, I could really understand and interpret very well. She's an out-of-box thinker. Whatever is told, she will try to do it in a very different way and very unique way. Very dynamic child and very loving child. And the moment you teach one shloka, she will grasp it very immediately. And even she's very good in music. Her music is very high. And you teach her one line and she will be able to add an extra note to that, and she'll be able to present very well. Of course, the parents did have some challenges when they were doing parenting for these children, but after GBP, they could really understand why Manvi is so highly, high energetic, and why does she behave with lot of difference when compared to Mahati. Mahati is a very loftier kind of child, very, very simple. She is very good in IQ, but at the same time, she is more softer. But Manvi is a little unique and different. So this is attributed to her X1, the X factor in her right frontal. After understanding this, Anu ma'am and Ravi Krishnan sir were very, very happy to understand that yes, this girl is very unique, and now they are able to focus very uniquely and able to cater well to Manvi, and they're able to understand her, accept her, and try to move on. So, over to Anu ma'am, if she has joined, maybe she could share in her own words what was her experience. Anu ma'am, you can join in and you can share your experience.
Good afternoon, all, and thank you, Harish ji, for be making us be a part of this. Just a minute, some interruption. One minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sorry. Actually, I had somebody at outside. So yeah, thank you, Harish ji, for inviting me. As he said, it was I have two girls who uh, I mean, we had trained them in music, but after doing this GBP, we came to know that they have good inclination to music, and he streamlined. Harishji told exactly what, I mean, it was like exactly what they were. Basically, we wanted to know how are they, means which field they will accept music. Of course, music is a priority for both of them. One is learning instrumental, another is a very good vocalist. My elder one. So we want to know where to this being music on the side, which stream to put them, or a science or a commerce, a basic, because they both are in the it's still the of course Mahati has to start thinking on her higher studies. So, but Harishji's all these analysis helped us to to place them, to know what we are. I mean, where we can place them. I mean, looks like they both will be exploring well in science, and he was very patient enough to tell us how their which brain is working good. I mean, which area to concentrate. So those tips from Harish sir has really helped us. And yes, actually, yes, it's a quite an early stage we really got encountered with Harish sir, and the message we could imbibe the message, and we will definitely keep that in mind while choosing the higher studies, and over not even studies, basically everything. As he said, she's Manvi's little every time out of box, but it is still taking some time to sinking, to say that okay, this girl is needs more attention, and she needs in a other way to tell. But all these things are definitely helped only through Harish ji's analysis. So yeah, this is going to be really useful for us in future, and it is useful currently also. So he is told that these two girls will really well flourish well in music also. So that is one of the mainstream which we as a parents wants to do it. So we find that their brains are accepting that also. That's a good plus for us. And but overall it was an excellent experience, and he just told us what is what, and where to concentrate, and what is their how their brain works. So we will keep this as a guideline. Maybe in a couple of follow-up sessions, Harishji will help us to improvise it. But yes, to start with, yes, we are very happy to know how then it is. This concept itself is very unique, and I'm sure all the parents should take the advantage of this to know where our kids stand. So it'll be little helpful to help. It definitely will be helpful to make decisions, future decisions. That's all I can say. Yeah, continuous monitor also will be helpful. Thank you, Harishji.
Thank you, Anu ma'am. Thank you very much for those wonderful feedback and valuable thing. We have a lot of counselors here, and our senior mentors are here, and this would be a wonderful message for many parents and counselors. Whatever you have given shared feedback, it is wonderful. So with this, I move on to the next set of siblings. Rachana and Samarth are one more set of siblings from the same family. I have put both their GPPs on the same slide only for the ease of comparison. We come to know those same children, born through same parents, they're most of the time, the sister is not like the brother, or brother is not like the younger brother, or things like that. You find the elder one will be very unique, and each one. The best thing that we as parents or maybe teachers, we should see that we should never compare children. Each child is unique, and each child has a different design. God has created every child very uniquely. The first message that I would want to give to all the parents, as we all counselors or mentors know, that it is very good to accept the child as it is, and then that helps us to overcome the thing and try to do a better counseling. So here, Rachana is the elder child who is in almost in 10th standard. Um, she has a X factor on the frontal right side. So this was a real concern. I even now I think Sai Samarth's mother, I think Ramashri ma'am had a lot of concern about the elder child. Of course, Samarth is his brain profile shows D3 D1 C3 C3 C2 A1 D3 C2. He's a normal child, very very affective and very 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 gentle, sober child, and very easily able to absorb things. You tell him something, he's not much he doesn't he's not a cognitive behavior highly. His D3 D1 shows that more of them he needs more guidance and mentoring from the parents. And at the right time, when this message came, his mother is able to now do a proper parenting. She's able to understand his needs, give him proper guidance. Such children need a little close monitoring and close mentoring from the mother or the father, and this would put the child into the right decision making. So at the right time when this was held, it helped Samarth a lot. Of course, Rachana is a very, she's an out of box thinker with a unique X1 factor in her right frontal. Mother is, yes, even now I know that she is facing some challenges. But over a period of time, what we could understand was these children, we need not worry. Parents need not worry that when there is an X factor, definitely, there is something we have to be careful, and we need not be, over bothered or concerned that, we have this kind of a child. We need to, you need to give a appropriate kind of attention. Where it is required, you need to focus, and where it is right, you have to just loosen, you have to let go of it and just be a witness. It needs a very careful parenting, and this kind of parenting guidance was also, for me, I should, at this point of time, I would also mention Bartika ma'am gave a very good guidance and suggestion, being a senior mentor for me. She was at the right time. She could give a very proper counseling, and with this counseling, we were able to give a very good guidance to Rachana's mother and her father. Ramashri ma'am, by any chance, have you joined? Would you be able to share your experience?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Namaste, all. I am the mother of Sai Samarth and Rachna. So, this GDP has helped me to understand my children in a better way. Actually, I was struggling with my daughter. She's a teenager. After doing this GDP, I came to know how to deal with my children. And Harish sir has helped me in an excellent way. Uh, and now also every time he would be calling and he'll be giving guidance to how to deal with children. I'm every time I'll be calling sir and I'm asking the suggestions from sir. GDP has helped me to understand my kids in a better way, and it is where our kids stand. So for future also, in which course they have to go, and in which subject they have, it is come to know. That's all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for that valuable feedback. I really appreciate. Uh, I'm in constant touch with most of these children, and I also follow up with the parents and try to give them some assurance and guidance what to do, what not to do. Here and there, wherever I need help, I am also trying to consult my seniors and try to give them a proper nurturing guidance. So we just move on to the next genetic brain profile. This was the first GBP which I did. In fact, I would want to mention here Priya Chabra ma'am. Priya Chabra ma'am really pitched in here, wherever X comes, no, in fact, initial those days, in the beginning, I had a challenge, but I could really do a good job after understanding her very well. I went and met the parents. The parents were really worried. Exactly, whenever X1 is there, I also know that the parents also express a lot of concern, and they will be really worried about those children, and parents have a set of expectations, and they say that my child is not like that, my child is not studying and all that. But after the GBP counseling and giving them a proper guidance, they were really able to reflect and introspect on themselves also. Partially, there needs to be a small modification or some small changes to be done within the parents also. And if they're able to give a proper guidance and nurturing, you have to just water the plant and leave it. Give the proper water, proper sunlight, and proper ambient atmosphere, and we should just leave it still and just be an impartial witness. This will start helping the child to introspect and start understanding, yes, this is where I have to correct myself. This is where at an adolescent age we could rightly find out that this child is, it's more of a left brainer. You could see that Shravya is a left brainer with 51.93. 48.07% shows that she's a right brainer, but her right brain processing is very, very high and fast. Very, very highly energetic girl. She was wanting to get into Bollywood music, dancing, and her way of dressing, her way of styles, everything was reflected in her behavior through the X1 factor in the right frontal. All this could be very clearly interpreted, and after giving an interpretation, the parents got a very good understanding of the child. And of course, they also made some their changes in their own parenting patterns. Of course, Shravya has successfully completed her 10th standard, and they have put her into a very wonderful residential college. And her mother Maitri called me up, and she told me that she's very thankful. For whatever reason, I'm not sure if she has joined. She said she might not join today. So this is about Shravya, one more case where we had a X factor. Gaurav was one case where I would want to mention that he had a C3A1, C3X, D3X, C3C3, C3C3, C3A1. We could see that the small X factor in the frontal was a little concern. Gaurav was the son of my, immediate superior in my previous company. He was a little concerned. This boy just completed 10th standard, and they were a little worried about into which stream he would get into. We could very clearly analyze that Gaurav was a very highly intellectual guy. This boy was very high in IQ, but his EQ was a little low. His energy lobes showed that his left brain capacity is very, very high. Right brain needed a little moderation. Left brain processing was very fast. Right brain processing is moderate. It is at this point I also suggested the parents to also put him into some yoga classes and also into music, which they have done. Basically yoga brings about a balancing, both pranayama, yoga, all these brings about a right balancing between the right brain functioning and the left brain functioning, and this will help the nurturing of the child in the right way. So this was about Gaurav, and it helped a lot. The last case I would mention is about Sukrut Kulkarni, who is the son of Maltesh Kulkarni, my own friend. Maltesh and myself are known to each other for almost 22 years now, ever since 2001 when we were working in TVS Motor. Maltesh is a very successful engineer. He's working in Honeywell now. But his elder child, he was really concerned. This boy was always behind birds, animals, and he is always about after fishes. He has an aquarium at home, and this child was not focusing on studies. We could see that this child's genetic brain profile showed that it was D1, D3, A1, D3, A1, A1, A2, C1, A1, A1. So we could see that very clearly. He is, yes, he's not a very highly cognitive behavior, but integrative behavior with also affective nature. This child was very, very emotional. What features I have seen, because I have personally observed this child, he listens to a song and he's able to reproduce the song in just next 5 minutes. Any song that he listens to is very good in music. And also no, he has a lot of, anywhere he sees cats and dogs. In fact, I also used to do this. Wherever he sees a puppy or a kitten lying on the street, no, he would go and get that kitten and keep it in one corner of his room. So he had a lot of inclination towards birds, which we could understand that his humanities was very high. He was a very, you could very clearly see his right brain is very high. 51.47 shows that he's a right brainer. And yes, of course, he is also inclined towards gadgets a little. This part helped me to understand very clearly and give a proper guidance and mentoring to my own friend Maltesh Kulkarni. Maltesh was all thanks to me, because Maltesh was actually thinking that he can make him a software engineer or a doctor or something like that. But when I told him, don't put a lot of effort and don't try to put him into science and math stream, because this child is not designed for that. So you should try to encourage him in paramedical sciences, something like, the secondary kind of engineering, or, maybe diploma or technical things. Maltesh was really convinced about it and he was fully thankful. I'm really not sure if Maltesh has joined today. Maltesh, are you there by any chance? No, I think he's not joined, maybe because of some reasons. So he was really convinced, and now he has, sometimes having too many high expectations on the child is also a big pressure on the children. So if you have understood the GBP of the children, you will be able to do justice and accept the child as he is and able to do the justice. So this helped Sukrut Kulkarni also. The boy was very thankful to me. On one side, he said, Papa was trying to put a lot of pressure on me, and nowadays he's very calm and cool, and I'm very happy doing all this. And I also mentored him very personally and told him, yes, you have to focus and try to not neglect your studies. You should try to balance between your other activities as well as your studies. So this brought about a lot of assurance in the family, and the family was very thankful to me. So this was the last case, and I think I have almost come to the end of my presentation. I would want to mention a few quotes before I bring an end to my presentation. Count your life not by birthdays, but by the noble acts of kindness and love you have performed as your worship to the Lord. Of course, this again, most of the quotes are from my Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandji. I have been able to implement most of these. I feel that every day, if I have not done a counseling or some helping some children or guiding some children, I feel that day is not done. It's not very useful. So this is where it brings my actions into play, and I'm able to do a justice to my students, my clients, and all that. The greatest prayer I remember is, this was a prayer which I learned from my late uncle, Sri Dinakar Raju. He always said, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is a great prayer that I would always mention to myself and say, yes, there are some things we cannot change in our life, some things we have to face as it is, but at least we should have the courage and the wisdom to change the things wherever we can and to know the difference where we cannot. So this is a great prayer that I keep on repeating almost every day wherever I encounter some challenges. We may often give without love, but we can never love without giving. This is so true that yes, without love we cannot function in this world. In fact, I started my presentation that love is the greatest persuasive power in world, and to love and to be loved is the greatest happiness of existence. I also believe that in all adversities there is in its depth a treasure of spiritual blessings secretly hidden. This I have experienced it and I'm still experiencing. Everything happens for a reason, and there is a greater cause which is guiding us, a greater power which is always guiding us. Silently hear everyone, accept what is good, reject and forget what is not. This is intelligent living. Yes, there are so many things every day, at every step of your life we keep facing challenges, but we have to move on. We have to make an intelligent living to accept and try to take up life in a challenging way and try to see where you can add value to life and value to people around you and try to do the best for the society. I understand that Gurudev also said that give your best to the world and the best shall come back to you. And I'm experiencing this. This is a great message. So with this, I come to the end of my short presentation. Genetic brain profiling has given me a very big insight into the world, and I'm able to positively contribute towards my clients, my Balavihar children, my parents, and it's also helped me to understand myself better and put myself in the right place. So with this, I thank each one of you here, my MiDNA family members, for supporting me, for guiding me. Special mention to Priya Chabra ma'am. Of course, Sunny ji also was my mentor. He did a great job in guiding me here. Special mention to Bhartika Sharma ma'am, who gave me a lot of insight and guidance to reach this stage of SD 2.0. So with this, I end my presentation. Thank you very much. Any other parent who has joined here, would you want to speak anything and share your feedback? I'm not very sure. You can. Deen Dayal, are you present? Okay, I don't think they have joined anyway. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harish. Definitely, you've done a great job today. And yeah, as usual, I would like to put the poll feedback poll for this session. And also, I would request the audience to unmute and please give your feedback on the session before I give my concluding remarks. Yeah, now the floor is open. The family members can unmute and give your feedback. Yeah, please. Please raise your hand. I'll unmute you if you require so that you can speak out. Yes, Brinda, please.
Harish, many congratulations. Your presentation was really awesome. And one thing that strikes me very hard and very nicely is that your dedication and your sincerity towards making a difference in the lives of children. I think I can very much relate to that because they are the future. They are going to shape the future generation is all that we have right now to shape the humanity. So wishing you the very best, and I'm really happy that you have reached the stage and you're reaching out to more people. Wish you all the best, Harish. Wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brinda. Yes, Gopal.
So, Harish, happy afternoon. It's thoroughly enjoyed. In fact, more than taking a report, the nurturing plays always a major. So that's what our sir is always tell, because you are exactly playing that role. So it is a witness from all the parents. In fact, you took them on the live and they just sharing their life experience. It is nothing like that. It shows your dedication and your commitment, first of all, and towards the child, children, you have the passion for them to grow. No, that you just mark my word. But that will take it to the top, actually. Thank you so much. Just continue your service. We'll see you at the top. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your kind words.
Thank you, Bhupalan. Yes, Shankar, please.
Yeah, thank you. Harish, wonderful session. And so I think with the guidance of your Guru, the Guru Tattva in you, I think you got invoked. So that's why you were very inclined towards teaching, and the way you have done the session in the last 1 hour, right? It's a kind of, I could see the teacher in you. So it was a wonderful session.
Yeah, thank you, Shankar. Yeah, Priyaji.
Yeah, congratulations, Harish. I really admire your willingness to learn. I mean, though I've helped you in your initial sessions, but then you were always somebody who was too much willing to learn, too much. All the time you were there and you were open to every kind of advice that I was giving. And not only just open, I would say you were ready to imbibe and you had so many questions to ask. And besides that, I really admire your motivation level. I mean, it's really commendable the way you've been propagating GBP amongst different audience. You've not been just doing it in your circle, but beyond that, with your Bal Vihar and other ways also. I mean, I also came across some people in Delhi who said that they had attended some online session that you had conducted in Bangalore. So that's really commendable, and I really congratulate you for a very good presentation that you've come up with, and very good job you've been doing. Uh, all the very best. I am sure you'll be reaching out to many. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your blessings and your wishes.
Yeah, please. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, please, Bhartika.
Congratulations, Harishji. It was really a wonderful presentation, especially the parents coming and talking about how you've guided them, how you help their kids. The one thing I always admire and I always liked about you is like you're never in a hurry. Neither you are in a hurry of getting scans, nor you are in a hurry of getting counseling done and just your job is done. Now you are free kind of attitude. You've always taken so much of time to understand the parent, understand the child, understand their family, and then only you take up the report. And even after counseling, you are constantly in touch with those families. So that is something I really admire, and I always appreciate you for that. And it was really a nice experience to join your presentation. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhartika. I think somebody else interested in. Uh, yeah, yeah. Please go ahead, Jayanti. Please.
Hari Om, Harish. I'm your old state member,
Thank
and
you.
thank you very much. And please continue your noble, great service. You're a great engineer, a great teacher, a great scholar, and a great person. And I also appreciate the way you are nurturing all the children and encouraging them and the parents to imbibe the good qualities, knowledge, gain knowledge and of the Hindu scriptures and overall everything. And at the same time, helping the children who are, in question, who are able to analyze, access their genetic GDP and help them out and help the parents too. Thank you so much and continue your great service. I'm really proud of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jayanti ji. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank
Actually,
you.
I just joined the last couple of minutes. I missed out the first session. And actually, I couldn't correlate the whole thing, but I understood from the last couple of minutes subject. Thank you.
Great. Great.
Yeah, yeah. There is. It is there in the YouTube. You can get the link from Harish and you can watch the whole session, Doctor. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. So let me just say a few words to conclude the session. First of all, very, very warm welcome and thanks to all those audience, beneficiaries, well-wishers of Harish, as well as beneficiaries of genetic brain profiling, parents and others. It's really very, making us feel very good about the kind of reach we are able to make with the help of genetic brain profiling. I always believe that if at all you trust something in this world to the core, it must be your fingerprints, because that is the script we call divine script that is embedded on your fingerprints. So we are all just messengers converting that message. We are making it understandable. So the script belongs to God, the divine, the nature, the universe. We are just learning the art of converting that fingerprints into some message, and we are doing our best. We don't claim that we are doing 100%, where we are definitely growing every day. We are improving our ability to understand and go into the deeper understanding. And for everybody's just knowledge, this capital X and small x is a kind of deviation that we find nowadays with too many frequencies are found with children. Probably in the future, they will become majority, and those we consider normal will become minority. And that is how the nature will continue to change. The architecture of the universe, the planet Earth, and the life around will change. While we always believe and accept that life is changing, but we are not very comfortable with changes. So nature makes the changes that is very apt and ideal for the existence of the whole of the planet. It cannot make a comfortable design for you because you will feel comfortable. The design of the children, the brain architecture of the children are continually changing. Was very well articulated by a parent, and also Harish also had said it very nicely, that parents' expectations are as per their life experiences, but the children coming to them are coming from a different platform, different design, different architecture. That means they are coming with a different language that they can understand. So whatever language we are speaking, probably we are familiar with it. We can connect well with our age group, human beings. But new children, new architecture, new design, new way of thinking, everything is changing. Unless otherwise, parents are made aware as early as possible. The frustration and the pain and the suffering and the untold misery and conflicts and all that continues, unfortunately, which is actually spoils the future of the child. Please remember, no child wants to hurt their parents and people around. It is their situations which are when they are not understood very rightly. They just want to express themselves. Some children keep it with themselves and die a silent death in the childhood itself. But some children are able to voice it out and bring it out and make people know, and they are changing the environment. So there are some children who change themselves and suffered the lifetime suffering. There are some children who rebel and make their opinion listened and accepted so that they change the world outside. So some children are struggling inside, some children struggle outside because they are facing the external world, which is very often hostile to them. So in the future of the child is going to be dependent on how joyful the childhood was for every human being. So it is very important that parents need to understand what to expect from the child, and then you work on the child. It will definitely produce a magic and a miracle. And I'm happy that Harish has learned that are quite good. Though, according to his design, he will take a lot of time to claim that he knows things well. But that is his, thought process. But it is good that he is taking help of the senior mentors and not overruling or assuming that this does not need their input. So that's a great quality of somebody who wants to learn. We also know, and we have seen in our experience, when the processes are moderate, they are willing to learn very easily. When the processes are fast, they want to teach others what they have learned. So it is just whether you become a guru or you become a disciple. And every disciple can become a guru, and every guru is once upon a time a disciple, and they can become a disciple once they get a guru who is more powerful, more knowledgeable, more capable than them. So they are all relative, terminologies and words that we use in our life. So I appreciate Harish for this wonderful session, more because We know every week we have 2 days of presentation by our family members. Every family member comes out with their unique style of presentation, their permutations, combinations, their experiences, sharing and all. So we see every day the bar is raised, the expectations of the audience is raised. So everybody is giving their best. And this is a proof that everybody is unique and they are having their own style of performance. And that makes the life, the hearing, the experience very much, I would say, enjoyable as well. So my congratulations to those parents who have made use of this genetic brain profiling. You can definitely say in your life before genetic brain profiling and after genetic brain profiling. It will be like before Christ and after Christ, the life will be totally different for all those parents. Whatever is the experience, whatever is their difficulties, whatever is their joy, whatever is that experiencing, it will make a very different experience. And I'm sure what I call the family peace index, that will definitely be raised after genetic brain profiling. Everybody is talking about living in peace and resting in peace. But without living in peace, the resting in peace will not come. In my opinion, genetic brain profiling is the only way to live in peace. There is no other way to live in peace with the kind of, the environment that we have, the kind of misleading, the kind of guidance which are not very reliable that comes to us. They all will mislead you, but genetic brain profiling is the ultimate guidance. And we are very happy that we are able to bring some better experience of the parents along with the children. It is beneficial to both. Children feel relieved because they are understood by the parents. Parents feel happy because they need not worry about the children because the roadmap is very clear. I continue to say genetic brain profiling, GBP, is the GPS of human life. And once you have this rightly, mapped and you have got the screen, now you don't need to look anywhere, ask anyone, and just worry about your path because the screen in front of you is very clearly telling in which direction you have to go. And Harish has done an excellent job. Harish has come to us 2 3 years before, I think almost 3 years before, for genetic brain profiling learning, and he came to Coimbatore to learn. But for some reasons, it did not click well, and then he joined back. So I somehow believe it somehow resembles like Saurav Ganguly, who came into the cricket and he miserably failed, rather did not shine, did not pick up things well, and then he came back, he made a comeback. And then all of us know he was there as a captain and he made a big name for himself in the world of cricket. So I don't know. I somehow it resembles to me that Harish is our Saurav Ganguly for MiDNA family. And I think a big, long way to go. He's very strong with his intuitive abilities. And the only lobe in the sensory is the communication lobe, the training and the teaching lobe that is connected with the training aspect of life, and with a very strong intuitive brain that is internally ideas and comprehending ability, higher ability to do multiple tasks parallelly. So he is blessed with all that qualities that can make him a great mentor and a life coach to come. I have been telling him ever since he joined back that he is a big support to MiDNA's goal of reaching to more children. And like the feedback, the audience feedback, he is actually transforming children and parents, and the family transformation is happening. And like Bhartika said, he doesn't rush through anything. It's because of the left brain fairly moderate, which makes him to just go step by step. But his power of performance is so high. I think he might take longer time, but once he is into the right place, I think he can do a big task, multiple network of counselors and train them and mentor them. And I see him a great power and potential with the kind of values and tradition that he has been nurtured with the family and all that background that he has. I would say there's a big opportunity for him to take this most powerful tool on the earth as on today. My dear friends, you will see more and more human beings' job will be replaced by machines and gadgets and automations. So people will lose their bread and butter in a way because they will not be able to maintain their work. But fortunately, with genetic brain profiling, more and more people can be given a better guidance so that they identify their second choice, their third choice, and still may do something about it. And I am personally seeing in the days to come, every family will need a psychologist, and with genetic brain profiling counseling, I think every family will find a way to go through life in a most peaceful way to whatever extent that is, they are destined to go through. So I thank once again the family members for having come in great attendance and the guests and well wishers of Harish well wishes in this today's session, and my best wishes to Brinda for her session tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Those who are outside the family can use the same link. If you are there, you can join tomorrow also to see another next level self discovery 3.0. We are calling it self discovery because with every session, we are discovering something about ourselves. And by knowing about ourselves better, we are able to serve others better. That is why we have named it self discovery. Without discovering oneself, whatever you do to others is just caring. You cannot be mentoring. So, caring everybody can do, mentoring you everybody cannot do without genetic brain profiling. It will be just a lip service, it will be just a namesake experience. But with genetic brain profiling, we can definitely transform people and give them a better life experience what they deserve for. So thank you everyone for being there along with this journey. And it is win-win for everyone. Everybody learns, everybody contributes, everybody shares. I think this is the only way to take this tool, this opportunity to more and more parents and more children, so that a joyful child only can become a joyful adult, and joyful adult only can become a joyful parent, and a joyful parent only can become a joyful leader. I think ultimately everything is very important. That is how the life we have to shape the children's life as well. So let us grow together and glow together. Thank you very much for your participation. Take care. Bye bye. See you tomorrow, same time, 3 o'clock. Take care.